Hey everyone, Al Fragnoli, League of Leaders, joined today by a very special guest, Dennis Pierce. We are recognizing Dennis as he's a leadership coach with Intelligent Leadership Executive Coaching, ILEC. Obviously, as everybody knows right now, it is International Coaching Week. So Dennis, we're honored to have you on. We want to recognize you and all the efforts you're doing. So we know you're a busy guy, so thank you so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure, Alan. Thanks for all that you do in the community.
Appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words, Dennis. So first thing I want to chat with you about is obviously going to stem around coaching. So why did you want to get involved with leadership coaching?
Well, look, I had a very successful career in corporate America, 30 plus years, where I was working for a transformative organization. We were transformative in the imaging space, but really driving digital workflow. And specifically, I worked with these large, complex global accounts. And during the course of that career, I realized that what I really enjoy, what I really appreciate is solving problems for my customers, understanding what they're trying to satisfy for their customers, and then working together collaboratively to drive significant results, right? And so looking at leadership coaching, looking at executive coaching, I realized that I could parlay that experience to help others and build this legacy and hopefully create something much larger than myself, right? In terms of that influence and that impact of other leaders and the organizations they serve.
Dennis, I love what you shared right there. It really is all about giving back, right? And when we go through our career and we're able to learn and pick up on a lot of things throughout our journey, you mentioned 30 plus years in corporate America. When we take that experience and we give back to others, and we help them grow and become successful leaders, it is such a rewarding profession, and it's something that's really critically important because we want to really mold that next generation of leaders. So I love your story and your background. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about why you're so passionate about coaching and what you just love most about it?
Well, I always tell people I love business, but even more, I love people, right? And I guess selfishly, as a father of two, my kids are at that point where my daughter just graduated from Washington State University, and my son is beginning his college career. So as I took what I've learned in life, you always want to impart on your children, that next generation, what you've learned, things that worked, things that didn't, right? And so as they're coming into the professional workforce, I want to help build the types of workplaces that they're excited to go work for, right? Helping to nurture those leaders that are going to be responsible for helping shape their careers. So that's not simply about, look, this is the way I did it and this is the way you should do it. It's about, actively listening and building a connection with those that you serve and those that are serving you, right?
That's fantastic stuff, Dennis. You mentioned actively listening. There's so many times I think that people get so bogged down in the busyness of life, and as leaders, we're so concerned and worried about everything that's going around us and all the chaos that's out there, right? There's so much to be concerned about that we're not always actively listening. The best leaders are always active listeners, and they're truly listening to their people. And I love the fact that you talked about your young children who are now, one just graduating from college, another one embarking on that college journey. It really is truly important to want to make a difference in the world and want to make a difference in the next generation, those young people that are really entering that workforce. And I love the story that you shared about your children there. Congratulations to your daughter for just graduating from Wazoo. That's a great institution, as we know. And this is going to kind of tailor into our last question that we have for you, though, on college. Obviously, I know that you're working in a mentorship program. I believe it's at Washington State as well.
UW. So
UW. Okay, so
yeah,
you're going the opposite direction here. Okay, yeah, we got the rivalry there, so we got to be careful with that. But you're getting actively involved in, again, another form of giving back to that next generation of leaders. So why don't you talk a little bit about the mentorship program that you're doing at the University of Washington?
Yeah, coincidentally, I'm seeing this in a lot of large institutions, right? Those that are serving the students, serving the undergrads, and even serving these MBA students, right? These candidates for MBAs. And I think that while I'm working primarily with leaders, I'm also looking at those emerging leaders. I think the universities are doing the same thing. So it's not simply about book smarts, right? So at the University of Washington, inside this MBA program, they have this mentorship program that I'm a part of. We're just kicking this off. And so I'll serve as a mentor for a couple of MBA candidates that are looking for mentors, looking for real life experience that they can use to kind of shape what they're doing. They're in the workforce now, they're in professional roles, but they're looking to aspire, they're looking to achieve more and be more significant leaders, right? And so I'm excited because every one of those journeys, every one of those mentorships begins with an assessment to really look deep inside. What drives you? How do you process information? And what are those strengths or those tools that you'll want to really hone and focus on as you begin to lead others and help shape their careers, right? And so I'm also seeing there's a meeting next week with Northwest University and a new dean over their vision with other community leaders to see how we might help kind of shape and influence their curriculum and those that are in the School of Business. So while we're working with leaders, we're also kind of shaping the expectations with the up and coming, the emerging leaders, the high potentials, and really not unlike, as a business person, I was going in to solve problems for my customer, but it wasn't necessarily my customer's problems so much as it was the customer's customer that they were looking to serve, and kind of bridging that gap, because all these factors weigh into the decisions that we make and how we go to market. And so I think that same thing in serving those emerging leaders, we're helping to not simply look to land a job or look to land the next position they see on LinkedIn, but helping them to kind of build a more fulfilling, a more mindful career.
That's awesome. I love it. You're finding so many ways to give back, Dennis, and that is truly, in my opinion, what it's all about. And you mentioned serving others. That servant leadership always comes to mind when we talk about the line of work that we do. So that's fantastic that you're giving back to your local community and in a great organization, a great college out there in your community. So continue to do great things, Dennis. We want to thank you again for taking some time out of your day to join us here. Again, we wanted to recognize you and honor you for all the hard work that you're doing as a leadership coach out in your community. Why don't you share, before we wrap it up here, some ways that some of our viewers can reach out to you, Dennis Pierce, if they're looking to get in touch with a leadership coach?
I'd be happy to, first I want to bring up one point. So we just recently celebrated Mother's Day. We should not need a day on the calendar to recognize our mothers, right? We all love our mothers and we should show them that every single day, right? This is International Coaching Week. So I like to look at it as a reminder that there's a network of professionals, whether that's me or one of the other coaches that are out there. There's a professional network that are trained, certified to help you in your professional career. So I think it's important that, we have this day on the calendar, we take a look at it, but none of us are in this alone. There are others out there that want to help us, right? And that extra perspective just simply compounds your ability to go in and make an impact, right? So if there's anything that I've said, if there's anything that I can do to help you, reach out on my website. It's dennispierce.intelligentleadershipec.com. You can contact me a number of different ways through my website. But honestly, looking to see what the goals are that you're looking to achieve, what you think you might be able to do better, and then building a plan together to help you see those results.
Fantastic. Thank you again so much, Dennis. We truly appreciate everything you're doing out in the community to give back in so many different ways. So thank you for being a fantastic coach out there to others. And thank you for joining us. We appreciate it, Dennis.
Thank you, Al. Have a great day.
You too.